I'm kind of pitching myself here as somebody who's an experienced investor, but always, I'm definitely new to this business as well. I just want to speak about this product and just how much, it has really helped me, propel myself, get better with talking with sellers, actually be able to close a deal. My strategies right now have been primarily direct mail, cold calling, and cold texting. And I've found a lot of success with Real Estate IQ, especially being able to get in front of customers, have engaging conversations. And of course, I'm hoping to use all of that to build my own business and eventually retire off.
Excited to be here, and I want to say a big thank you to Real Estate IQ. They have the absolute top leads in the industry and just make investing effortless for all of us as real estate investors here in Texas and obviously everywhere else that they're focused. And I'm proud to be associated with Real Estate IQ. Love what you guys do and love how you all help investors so that we can focus on the thing that makes us the most money, which is the job of real estate investing.
I wanted to jump on this morning and give a shout out to Real Estate IQ. I began my journey with them a few years ago, just using some of the more basic products, the off-market leads. And since then, growing and visiting and talking with not only Steve, but other people who are involved with Real Estate IQ, I've had the opportunity to actually not only be a client, but I also became an investor with them. And that is one of the beauties of being able to be part of Real Estate IQ, is it gives you the opportunity to grow as an investor, especially in real estate.
I'm kind of pitching myself here as somebody who's an experienced investor, but always, I'm definitely new to this business as well. I just want to speak about this product and just how much, it has really helped me, propel myself, get better with talking with sellers, actually be able to close a deal. My strategies right now have been primarily direct mail, cold calling, and cold texting. And I've found a lot of success with Real Estate IQ, especially being able to get in front of customers, have engaging conversations. And of course, I'm hoping to use all of that to build my own business and eventually retire off.
Excited to be here, and I want to say a big thank you to Real Estate IQ. They have the absolute top leads in the industry and just make investing effortless for all of us as real estate investors here in Texas and obviously everywhere else that they're focused. And I'm proud to be associated with Real Estate IQ. Love what you guys do and love how you all help investors so that we can focus on the thing that makes us the most money, which is the job of real estate investing.
I wanted to jump on this morning and give a shout out to Real Estate IQ. I began my journey with them a few years ago, just using some of the more basic products, the off-market leads. And since then, growing and visiting and talking with not only Steve, but other people who are involved with Real Estate IQ, I've had the opportunity to actually not only be a client, but I also became an investor with them. And that is one of the beauties of being able to be part of Real Estate IQ, is it gives you the opportunity to grow as an investor, especially in real estate.
Okay, welcome everybody. Let's get started. Just trying to play around with the background music. There's something going on here, Casey. I don't know which background music is playing right now. Oh, okay, I see. It's on my computer. Haha. Okay, so we can get started. We have a lot of content here. Let me just kind of pull back up our screen. We're gonna be talking a lot about the current deals that we're executing right now, and we're gonna also share some market updates and a couple of flip deals information, and then also something new that I'm gonna share with you today is we saw one of the properties that we got under contract, and I took a video. So we're gonna go through the walkthrough together on this particular property and share what we see and what some opportunities are. So, well, if that's exciting, let's get started. So, first of all, our host organization is Real Estate IQ, right? It's got full solutions for your investment journey. The most popular item is the off-market distressed sellers. We have found a lot of success. If you have kind of watched the trailer that we have kind of before this live show, you probably saw a lot of successful clients. And you can visit Real Estate IQ for leads. You can look for investment opportunities and deals there. And always, do your own due diligence whenever you see an investment opportunity. And we have events and classes. I'm going to be sharing some of the upcoming classes before we end today. And then also every week there are news and market updates that we thought are worth sharing. So we'll be putting those on the website as well. Okay, we'll be monitoring all that for you. I'm going to skip over, some of these success stories, and just want to take a moment to stress that everything we presented here today is for information and educational purposes only. And some of the particular examples that we show is just for that particular case. And we don't offer investment, financial, or legal advice in this next 50 in the next 60 minutes, I guess. And if you have a lead or you have a deal that you don't know how to kind of move forward, what's the next step? You can share the deal here, and either myself or someone in our community can help walk you through it. You can also join our office hours, which is Friday at 9:30 in the morning. There's 1 hour virtual office hours that you can join, and we can kind of do a deep dive on the deal as well. I will be sharing the QR code and the link of how you can join our office hours. Okay, so our agenda today, right? We just did our introduction really fast, so we can have more time to go over the market update. Some case studies. Like I said, I want to share a video that I took. We drove, I think, 3 hours to this particular location on the deal we put on the contract. So 3 hours there, 3 hours back. It was all day thing, a road trip, and learned a lot about that area. I think it was, I would call it Central West Texas. And so very interesting stuff. And again, there's always some opportunity anywhere we go. And so it's about spotting them and kind of assessing the opportunity versus risk, right, that's involved. Okay, and then we'll talk about our feature topic is on our market intelligence that we produced this week, and some of the very interesting trend and data that's going to affect how the market is doing. So we'll look at that, and then we'll close and share with you our upcoming events. Okay, right on time, 5 minutes. So real quick, we have some market update here for you. So number one, we see builder confidence dropping again. It has dropped to a new 7-month low. Reflecting growing concerns about rising costs, right? We have tariff, we have the war going on that's going to affect everyday costs and costs of construction. And interest rate is still relatively high. We're seeing a big drop this week, but again, kind of the elevated interest rate and weakening buyer demand is affecting builder confidence. Developers are becoming more cautious about the potential buyers that go into the market, and that's gonna slow down the new housing supply. You know what that means for investors and flippers, because we provide housing usually not from a new build standpoint, but from a redevelopment standpoint. That housing shortage is something that we are contributing to. So that's a little bit of opportunity for us. Okay, it's not necessarily bad news for us. Okay, existing home sales have now hit a 7-month low. The NAR, National Association of Realtors, have slashed the 2026 forecast. And this is the biggest biggest headline of the week. Existing home sales has dropped 3.6% now, month to month. And their chief economist, Lawrence Yun, is citing lower consumer confidence and softer job growth as the primary drivers of this drop. And then another news is that the average United States mortgage payment has now gone way up. It has now surpassed $2,000 a month, and that's up 44% since 2021, which is around the COVID time. And higher home prices and the elevated interest rate is making home ownership a little more difficult, especially for first-time buyers. So that's something to stay on top of. In the market intelligence, we'll share more information about the interest rate. Okay, so let's look at some exciting deals update, right? So these are the live deals that are being worked on as we speak. Actually, we're getting constant updates on the deals that are being worked on. And in this particular case, I want to share with you the following. So this is a deal in Groesbeck. It's actually located in the opportunity zone. If you have been following us, you might have seen this slide before. I just want to give some context and background of the deal itself. So we purchased it at $42,000, and the repair budget is about $58,000. So we're talking about $90,000 all in, and the value of the property after fix up is $165,000. So what that means, we're going to be purchasing undervalue, and there's quite a bit of spread, even if we choose to sell it, right? And we're looking at obviously the opportunity to hold it and put a tenant in there, for buy and hold strategy. And as an alternative, a flip is also a potential strategy. Okay, 3x1, etc., etc. Now this house has quite a lot of work that needs to get done. There's foundation work that needs to get done. The windows also need to get replaced. So that's what I'm going to be showing you is some of the progress of this deal. The first thing we did is we cleaned the backyard, mow the grass, and cut down the trees and the shrubbage. And this house actually has a really good sized yard, and that's gonna create some potential opportunity to put additional housing unit in the back and produce additional rental income. So we saw a lot of opportunity in this house. So as you can see here in the back, got a pretty big lot in the back. So next, all right, these are some photos of the property, and what I want to show you is some of the foundation work that was being done in progress. So that would be here, the most visible part. When it comes to foundation work, it's kind of hard to see what's being done and what's not being done. So if you kind of see here, what they did is they dig down and into the ground, they kind of rip out the floor and repair the foundation. So you can see a lot of dirt in the area, and you see a hole here. So that was phase one, and now we're on to phase two. So the phase two is what we call demolition, all right, demo. And what we're doing here is we are ripping out all the parts in the house that need to be replaced. So any kind of wood rot, right? Any kind of old stuff that needs to come out, we rip everything off. You can also see here, right, just getting rid of the stuff we don't want to keep in the house. All right, and then another thing that we're doing is also replacing the windows and the doors. You can see these are the new windows, and then we're also going to be making sure that the surrounding area of the doors and the windows are repaired. So it's going to look really nice when we're done. Here we're in the middle of that process. Okay, you can see more windows, right? So we're replacing all the windows of the house. When we first purchased the house, one of the windows were missing, and some of the windows were cracked and broken. So you might have heard of the broken window syndrome in the neighborhood. Basically what that says is when you start walking down the neighborhood and you start seeing houses with broken windows, very soon the whole neighborhood may start becoming, right, if the cracked window or the broken window doesn't get fixed, the quality of the neighborhood will start going down. So the neighbors are quite pleased that we are coming in here and improving this particular house and improving the quality of the neighborhood. Okay, I got a couple more of these, right? We're putting new drywall in, and then the next step would be repainting. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments on what you just saw, just feel free to use the chat function, and we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions you got. Okay, next we have featured deals. So again, disclaimer is, all of these numbers are estimates, right? So first is a deal in Elgin, about 20 minutes east of Austin. And this looks like it could be a really good deal for taking over subject to, turn it into a rental, potentially a flip as well. And when we add up all the numbers, this is a 63% deal. And if you are not familiar with the percentage, and what that means is that when you go all in, we'll be buying 63 cents to the dollar. So this is a heavily discounted property. And of course, always do your due diligence and verify the numbers. Okay, another deal that's available is in Huntsville. We got quite a bit of interest on this house. This house also has very good bone. There is some repair that needs to be done on the roof and in the interior, but it has good bones. So we're estimating a relatively low rehab and asking at $49,000. Everything all in, about 67 cents to the dollar. So also a really good deal. And this one is in Throckmorton, right? Maybe an hour from the city of Abilene. And what's interesting is that there are new data center that are planned for the area, which is going to create new jobs. And this is about 69% deal. And I think what's very interesting is that this house or this property comes with 4 lots. So this particular house is on top of 2 lots, and then there are 2 additional lots. So there are opportunity to build out additional housing in the area. And actually, I want to now open up this video that we took. And let's try out. I'm going to bring it over. How are we doing? Nope, doesn't work. Let's do this. Okay, so let's play it. There's no... Okay, so let's see how my camera work is doing. So here we are looking at the front of the property. I'll just narrate. You can see there's some, there's a little bit of exterior work that needs to be done. There's some loose bricks in the front. So we walk in and let's go left. The left side looks like a master bedroom with a full bath. Okay, so, obviously opportunity for updates in the interior. Kitchen looks fairly updated. But, for a rental unit, you don't necessarily need to put a lot of work in here. It all depends on the condition of the rental units in the area. And, I think it's quite rent ready. And right here, this is the utilities room. Coming back to this main, living room, dining area. We're gonna go to the right side, and there are 2 bedrooms here and a full bath. Okay, pretty good sized bedrooms. And then this is the other bedroom, also pretty good sized. And then when I walk out here, so this is kind of the additional unit that the seller has built, what we're walking into now. And what they are doing is, it looks like they basically connected the main house, which is where we came from, with the okay, so this is the other side, the other view of that utilities room. Right, so what they were doing is they were connecting the main house with the garage. So if you kind of see up front, across the pool table on the left is the door into the garage. And then we're walking through here. This is another entrance into the house. So what's interesting is that, this could potentially get subdivided into 2 living units. All right, 3-car garage. Actually, is it 4-car? I'm mistaken. Maybe it's 2-car garage. Okay, so what to do with that space? That's interesting. What to do with this space? Also very interesting. All right, and then we're gonna walk out here now. This is the deck. The deck's gonna need some work. It's not very even. It's aged. A little bit of warping on the surface. But what's cool is just, the size of this lot. This is the lots of room to build here. And this is just one. Okay, so if we actually walk past this gate, there's another lot that also comes with the property. Actually, I think perhaps this is 2 lots here. What we were seeing is one lot, and then there are 2 more here. And the house is located mainly on 1 lot, and then right next to it is another lot. So we have lots of open space. 3 lots worth of open space. And right across the street from this property is a whole bunch of apartment buildings that looks to be fully occupied. So that's what we saw. That's kind of the opportunity we see. Okay. So interesting opportunity. We also have partners that have some additional deals in New Braunfels, San Antonio, another one in San Antonio. So if you're interested in kind of being in the know of opportunities available, you can scan this QR code and fill out the form. And what we want to do is understand your criteria, and we'll match you with the deals that seem to that look to be fitting in your criteria. Speaking of deals, right? If you want to participate in the deal making process, we have an accelerator program that's on wait list right now. Basically, we'll walk you through every step of the deals process. And I think a key part of that is actually the source of the leads, right? Which is the off-market distressed sellers. If we can consistently do outreach and build a pipeline, then we can consistently make deals, right? Put deals under contract. So I find that as the key. And so we're putting all the support, around how to make the deals and how we can consistently win these deals. Okay, track record, everything. Okay, cool. Next, let's go over a little bit of market intelligence. For those of you who are studying the market and how that's happening, how things are going, this is a really good segment for you. Ta-da, okay. Cool. You're looking at a fresh market intelligence update report. We're seeing macro shift and distress in the Texas and Florida states, and those are actually the opportunities that we see right now. In the four corners, you also see, what the SP 500 is doing, what the 10-year yield is going on. So lots of information here. If you're interested in downloading a copy of this, I will share a link, a QR code that you can scan and put in here. And also for those that don't know, if you're wondering, okay, I got a QR code, but I'm watching on my phone. So how do I scan the QR code? Well, if you take a screenshot with your phone and then just kind of press and hold on the QR code, it will link you there. All right. The big news of this week is that the 30-year fixed mortgage rate has dropped significantly to 6.07%. Okay, so that's much lower than the previous weeks. We're also seeing a historic high in inventory. So what that means is, we're talking about an increase of number of buyers that are going to enter the market due to low interest and the cost of interest. And then we're also seeing the active listings, because of the, I guess there is a pent up supply that wasn't able to move because of the high interest. And so, I think this selling season, we're going to be seeing a lot of properties moving if the interest rate continues to kind of stay around 6% or maybe even drop even lower. And then we're also seeing a lot of distress. In fact, as we are doing outreach to distressed sellers, we are actually seeing a lot of houses sitting on the market for a long time and just not a lot of interest in the properties that are in distress, that are going into foreclosure. It's hard for them to sell on the market. Okay, so what that means is that for April 2026, which is this month, we have the perfect storm for wholesalers and investors that are looking into entering into the market. There's a lot of opportunity that are available to us. Back in the COVID days, right, it was more of a seller's market. We hear a lot of complaints on not being able to acquire deals, and now I think we can if we know how, we're going to be able to acquire these properties, and there's always investors buying good deals. So, all right, okay, so the macro, what's driving, right, this mortgage interest rate drop and the relief. We're seeing a couple of items, right? One is the geopolitical turmoil and chaos, right? We're talking about potential ceasefire, and also energy cost has been stabilizing at around $90 to $92, and S&P 500 is hitting the record high. It went past 7,000 now. And then the bond market, 10-year yield treasury has been easing down to about 4.2%. So all those are kind of driving the mortgage rate to come down a little bit, which is going to unlock buyer demand, right? Retail buyer demand. A lot of buyers are balking because of the high interest rate, and that creates a huge expense in terms of interest, right? So we can see here, if you look at the bottom of a 50-point drop, right, half a percentage drop is going to save the buyers a little over $1,000 a year on a $350,000 loan. So the drop in interest rate is going to cause buyers to re-enter the market. So you can see this chart here, right, a pretty significant drop in the interest rate in the past 2 weeks. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is the inventory level, right? We're seeing statewide in Texas, there are 128,000 active listings in the area. Okay, so that creates a huge supply in the market. And we're also seeing that reflecting in price cuts and price drops. Okay, these are the numbers for each metro area, right? Houston, 52%, right? More than half of the listings have dropped their price. In San Antonio, we're seeing the highest, where 55% of all listings have dropped their prices. That reflects a sentiment for sellers to lower their price in order to sell fast. And deals that are being locked in the discount but it has not been closed yet. So you can see the pending sale has gone up around 15%, but actually the closed sales has been dropping. So from a metro area standpoint, this is what we see in a kind of acquisition. Our recommendation is that for, let's say, San Antonio, we're seeing entry-level pricing, right, for off-market deals, and a very high distress signal. And Austin, we see the deepest distress signal. And these properties tend to be a little bit higher in their pricing. Okay, another opportunity we see is that there is a record number of properties and listings getting canceled. And what that means is, sellers are now, they have a contract, but it fell through. So, and actually, one of the leads that we put on the contract was also in this case, where they are re-entering the market. They had it under contract, but the contract fell through. So now they have to resell. So now they have much higher urgency in selling. So that creates opportunity for us. So this is the national distress pipeline. Okay, we're seeing foreclosure starts have gone up 14% year over year. That's very interesting. And that's mainly driven by two states. And you guess it, it's both Texas and Florida, right? Two of the biggest states. So we can see that Texas has the highest REO nationally. That's the foreclosure bank-owned properties. And that's happening at a rate of 1 in about 3,000. And Florida, as a close second, it's happening in the rate of 1 in 2,200. So what we see as the kind of capture window for these distressed properties is getting in touch with the sellers as soon as the foreclosure filing gets filed. So we're able to do a next day capture and delivery in our pre-foreclosure filings. As you can see, Harris County is Houston. We're talking about over 800 captures. Miami, 561, and Tampa, 381. So these are the top markets and counties where the early capture really gives you the advantage. So some strategy recommendation, right, for wholesalers is to focusing on volume. In Houston, we're seeing the days on market, right? Houses are sitting on the market for over 78 days now, and also target deep discounts in Austin. For fix and flippers, right, really focus on staying within that 70% ARV rule, maybe even lower than that if you want to, I guess, be a little more conservative and leverage the mortgage rate, right, to expand your end buyer pool, because your end buyer, right, after you fix it up, is going to be looking at that around 6% interest rate. For long-term rental, right, you want to target the job growth suburbs for cash flow. And then for short-term rental, one market you may want to look at is Port Arthur, where it's the #1 city for Airbnb. And then for if you already have properties in the DFW area, then there is some opportunity to provide housing for the World Cup, which is happening in a few months. Okay, some risk factors that you should be aware of is the ARV volatility, right? With price cuts happening, that's going to affect the sold price, and that's also going to affect the after repair value of these properties. So validated with some conservatism, and make sure you kind of build that risk into your offer. And then also watch out for the March retail sales data that's going to get released very soon, and a weak market is going to accelerate Fed cut expectations, and dropping the rate is going to increase the buyer demand. Okay, so a couple of things to take away is, number one, the mortgage rate relief. That's going to bring more buyers in the market. Number two is there are a lot of inventory, and so that allows room for wholesalers to negotiate for a steeper discount from the seller, and then you can present yourself as the fastest way for them to exit their property. Okay, so to learn more and get more coaching, you can scan this QR code and request a session. We're more than happy to sit down and kind of chat with you, see what's going to take to help you win. All right, watch out for our next update in next week. We have these updates on a weekly basis and really focus on how the market is doing and what we can focus on as deal makers in the market to really take advantage. All right. That's our last slide. Okay, any comments or questions? We welcome that. And if you have additional questions, like I said, the office hours is where you can come and chat. Okay, so this is an infographic of what we just talked about, and if you want a copy of this infographic, you can just scan the QR code on this slide, and I think there's a form for you to fill out, possibly. Another thing that you want to look at is using the new app called dealsnearme.io. You can actually go online and sign up for a free trial account on this app right now, where you can see all the deals that are next to you, and you can even drive to it. So what I find that's very useful, especially for those that are just starting out, is you can see and drive to see some houses that have already been auctioned off. You can see, if it's a house that has been purchased and it's being worked on, you can drive by and see the progress. And then also another thing, I think a big lesson for me when I was just starting out is I always thought foreclosure houses are run down and needs a lot of work, but actually that's not always the case. You can probably see a lot of the houses are just like normal houses. Like you can tell that it has gone through foreclosure or it was going into foreclosure. And having access to this app kind of can give us that perspective. Amy is asking, hey, what time is the office hours? It would be at 9:30 a.m. Central Time on Fridays. Okay, so that would be right here. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to that page, and you can pick and choose whichever event you're interested in attending. Okay, so appreciate the question. And I look forward to seeing you there. All right, so that's the last thing we have. We're gonna end a little bit early today. Just want to give you a reminder is that we can look at the numbers all day long, but the most important thing in terms of learning is taking action and just learning through making small mistakes. And so decide to make a decision to take action, right? Decide on what direction you need to go and what your next step is, and then just do it. You can start your real estate journey with Real Estate IQ. Now, with that said, I want to wish everybody a great Thursday, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. At our office hours.
I'm kind of pitching myself here as somebody who's an experienced investor, but always, I'm definitely new to this business as well. I just want to speak about this product and just how much, it has really helped me, propel myself, get better with talking with sellers, actually be able to close a deal. My strategies right now have been primarily direct mail, cold calling, and cold texting. And I've found a lot of success with Real Estate IQ, especially being able to get in front of customers, have engaging conversations. And of course, I'm hoping to use all of that to build my own business and eventually retire off.
Excited to be here, and I want to say a big thank you to Real Estate IQ. They have the absolute top leads in the industry and just make investing effortless for all of us as real estate investors here in Texas and obviously everywhere else that they're focused. And I'm proud to be associated with Real Estate IQ. Love what you guys do and love how you all help investors so that we can focus on the thing that makes us the most money, which is the job of real estate investing.
I wanted to jump on this morning and give a shout out to Real Estate IQ. I began my journey with them a few years ago, just using some of the more basic products, the off-market leads. And since then, growing and visiting and talking with not only Steve, but other people who are involved with Real Estate IQ, I've had the opportunity to actually not only be a client, but I also became an investor with them. And that is one of the beauties of being able to be part of Real Estate IQ, is it gives you the opportunity to grow as an investor, especially in real estate.